There's actually one that I read. It's called Doghouse Roses. It's a Steve Earle. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but he is an amazing, amazing poet. Obviously being a songwriter, but he's also a gifted writer. And even if you see what people said, all the magazines and all that, the critics basically said that this guy is it's amazing that he didn't come out as a writer beforehand writing books. It's called Doghouse Roses, and I do believe it's 5 or 6 stories, but it's all kind of, if you read them all, it kind of goes into one. It's really cool, and that was that was a while back when I finished that. I've been trying to pass that around to the band, get the guys to read that, because it's amazing. It's a very good read. If you ever get a chance to get it, it's called Doghouse Roses.
I actually will. I will go pick that up because I just finished Long Hard Road Out of Hell, so I need a new one.
Who's that? Which one's that?
That one's Manson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do like Marilyn Manson.
He's a genius. He really is. You know how smart that guy is?
Yeah, and he's been through, wow, yeah. I mean.
I'd love to meet that guy, because I tell you, people think that he's just this shock rock guy. There's way more about him than ETI.
Yes.
I've seen him in interviews, and he's a smart guy, that's for sure. He knows what's going on.
He is. Did you ever see him tear Bill O'Reilly to shreds in that interview? Oh, that was great.
There was one that happened, he was up in Canada, that took place, and up in for Much Music. And they had a couple security guards, police officers. They had a politician there. They had all these people on panel that basically were either ones that worked at the concerts, so they would witness things at concerts. There was I think a doctor or something like that talking about suicides and all kinds of things. And they tried to put him in a corner and say that your music is doing this and this and this. But by the end of the interview, he had them all pretty much apologizing, saying, "I never looked at it that way."
Yep.
That is amazing, because he knows. And listen, I'm a writer. I'm a performer. I don't go and tell people to go do these things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It has a lot to do with upbringings of families. It has something to do with, you know what I mean, what the TV is, what it's saying, all kinds of things. It's not just. It can't be just one song.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he did to these guys, and they all were just dumbfounded. And I watched it. It was amazing. I was just rooting for him through the whole thing.
That is cool. So I'm curious, do you guys happen to have any pre or post show rituals? Maybe a group hug or shot of Jaeger?
No, we have our drinks and stuff like that. We're not a big drinking band, so after the show, you know what I mean? The other night I had to have a couple shots of Jack Daniels, just because I needed something to kill I had a bad show, basically. One of the monitors blew, so I was doing the whole show without even hearing myself.
Oh, no.
So I don't know if you ever talk to singers when they can't hear themselves.
Sweet.
To be heard, just, you know what I mean? And so I pushed myself a little too hard, and so I had to do a show there in San Antonio, and I didn't want to let the audience down, and obviously didn't want to cancel the show. So a couple shots of Jack Daniels Quick Remedy.
There you
but
go.
Other than that, that's not normally anything that takes place. And we sit down, and we do our warm-ups and stuff like that. I do a gospel that I wrote that is my local warm-up. The guys sit in the room with me and do the harmonies to it, and we all just kind of sit and talk about the show, and and just talk about how we're excited to get this opportunity to play this night. I guess that's pretty. You know what I mean? If we can keep on reminding ourselves how fortunate we are to be, whether you're in a nightclub and you're playing with some local band, or you're out there with Three Doors Down. To us, it's the same thing, because we're going to go out there and give it to whoever's out there that is willing to listen.
Yeah, I bet your show, it's just an amazing experience. What's going through your mind when you're on stage singing?
Well, what goes through my mind when you're on with Three Doors Down is, why can't we have more time? You only get 25 minutes. But, and that's the hard part, because you just want to keep on going, right? But you got to respect, obviously, you only have so much time. But there's a lot of things. It's just, you want to, we're all wanting to make sure that we're out there, and we're basically just giving our all, basically, right? And that we're having fun doing it,
Exactly.
Smiling and entertaining the crowd as much as we possibly can, and stuff like that, right? And making sure that the crowd is acknowledged, and that's really important to us.
That's
so when we're
cool.
going out there, we want to make sure that we're all happy, and that usually happens, because we all just pump each other up before the show.
You guys look really happy and like you were having a lot of fun on your video for Ready to Roll. I love it.
Yeah.
Do you guys happen to know what your next video will be, or maybe what you would like it to be?
Well, there we're in talks right now with the label what the next single is, but because now with the SummerSlam and everything, I think it's going to be some time before our next single comes out. I think Ready Roll kind of caught people off guard, and you know what I mean, like, you know, apparently it's in the charts and stuff like that, and it's hit billboards, and so we're kind of just sitting back, kind of overwhelmed by everything.
Yeah.
And you know, we've got good people in our corner, and so, you know, we trust it when it's time to put up the next single, whatever that one song will be. You know, it'll come out when it's meant to come out.
Indeed. So do you happen to have any embarrassing moments, maybe something that happened on stage or on tour you'd like to share?
Let's just see here. Yeah, there was. Actually, there was a couple, actually. What happened was, we were in, I'm just going to remember where we were in Chicago. It's in Chicago. And we had our chief come out, because he's a busy guy. He works with Hinder, and you can imagine, you know, the bands he works with. He's a busy guy. So he came out to see the show. And we were all pumped because our manager's there and everything. And I don't know what happened. You know, we at first started with a technical problem, but I guess at the end it was just a mistake that took place. What happened was I have a wireless mic, and usually what happens, you do your sound check, and what you do is you turn off, you turn it off after you're done sound check, right? And we just bring it up to the side. The techs will clean the mics and all that kind of stuff like that, right? And then they'll put them back on the stand, and they'll put the battery, they'll turn the mic on. So when I walk on stage, I'm walking in, and I'm just like saying it's on. Well, what happened was there was a misunderstanding with, I guess, some of the other techs, and they turned it off. And just put it up to the side. So our tech didn't go and double check because he had already thought he had put it on, or maybe he did, or whatever the case is. And so he went on stage and put it there. So I came out, and I grabbed the mic off the stand, and I kind of started walking out and put my hand in the air to acknowledge the crowd, right? The manager's there. I think we had some reps from our label and everything. The guys are, you know, starting the show, or theme music and whatever starts the show. And I yelled out to, and I do believe it was Chicago, hey, Chicago, you know, how you doing, whatever, right? And I'm like, what is going on? I couldn't hear anything. So right away, our sound man, tour manager, he's kind of in the back, and I could see him kind of going, whoa, I guess the monitors are blowing or something, like, what's going on, right? Because nothing is coming out of the PA, nothing coming out of the monitor.
Oh, no.
And so they're thinking it's the monitors, right? I didn't think anything would be the mic. So I'm going in, and I'm about to go into, like, start the actual first verse, and there's a bit of an intro for the song. So I had to run over and grab the backup mic from Flip and take his mic and came in, and it was kind of funny because you got to, you know, because the audience is kind of looking at me, and I'm just like, you know, they're like, well, I don't hear anything. You mean open my mouth, so, you know, but those things kind of happen, right? It was kind of funny, you know, because you're getting ready to do this big show, and then you come out and nothing. I mean, you know, it's happened, so. And it will continue to happen. Things like that happen, you know what I mean? You just got to laugh it off, right?
Indeed.